Welcome to episode 253 of the State of Love and Trust. James and the Cold Gun is here, and they're talking about their new record, Face in the Mirror. And here's a hint, it rips. James Biss and James Jospeh detail how the record came together between Seattle and their home in Cardiff, Wales, the advice Gossard gave them, and you'll hear some exclusive clips of songs not yet released. Oh, and you'll never guess who filled in on drums on their most recent US tour. It's all next on the State of Love and Trust.
Hey, I'm Mike McCready from Pearl Jam.
Hey kids, this is Mark Arm from Mudhoney.
I'm Kevin Martin from Candlebox.
Hi, I'm Dave Cruzen.
I'm Tim Montana.
Hey, I'm James Jospeh from James and the Cold Gun.
I am Matt Vaughn from Easy Street Records.
This is Richard Stuverud. And this is the State of Love and Trust.
The State of Love and Trust.
The State of Love and Trust.
Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Feed that algorithm.
Love's open and chest. Look, my watch be crazy.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the State of Love and Trust. It's a Pearl Jam podcast, and I'm one of your two hosts, Jason Kerepesi, and alongside me, as always, is
Paul Ghiglieri.
How's it going, gang? How are you out there in podcast land? Episode 253. We are in the middle of April. The spring weather is here, Paul.
It is. It's time for this podcast to bloom, Jason. And you know the best way to get that happening is to feed that algorithm with rates, reviews, and subscribes.
The illusion there was fantastic. I can't wait for you guys to figure out what the hell he's talking about. If you're here watching, we're liking the video, we're subscribing to the channel, we're hitting the bell for notifications, and if you're listening to this, you are doing what, Paul?
They're going to rate, review, and subscribe on their preferred podcast platform of choice. Feed that algorithm. Feed.
So nice. You said it twice.
I said.
If you are here to support the show, we appreciate you for being here. That's one way of doing it. The other way is through Patreon or the Pod Shop. I got a hat you can buy over there.
Hey,
also,
by the way, I don't mean to interrupt you, but the open to the show, our guest today reminded all of our viewers and listeners to feed that algorithm. So it's just not coming from me, by the way.
Oh, James himself recorded that for us some moons ago, and I still it's my wife's favorite part of the intro.
Yeah.
If you do support us on Patreon, there's a giveaway each month. This month, Paul, if I recall, is it? Hold on, let's make sure I have it right, because I get my wires crossed. Oh yeah, it is the Mad Season Above Reissue Vinyl. We spoke with Brett Eliason and Sonny Feldberg and Mike McCready about it recently, so that new LP could be yours if you're a patron in the month of April.
Yeah.
And if you donate to our fundraiser of the month, which benefits Autism Speaks, they do a great job creating an inclusive world for all of those affected with autism. They got advocacy, services, support, research, innovation, all these kinds of things. Those families need some help, and Autism Speaks does a great job of helping them out. So that's our fundraiser for the month. If you donate $5 or more, there's stickers, there's pins.
Stickers.
We
There's
throw them to
always
you.
a sticker to give away.
And, he'll put them on a carrier pigeon for you if we have to. That's what'll happen. If you donate the most money, though, you're getting Pearl Jam on vinyl from SNL 92. We love this. This is a fun time. So if you want to give, those are places to give, and we appreciate you wherever you want to donate your money, or spend your money, I should say. And but really, just hit the button on the computer or the phone.
That'll
the like
do.
button. That thing. That'll do, pig. I don't know why I said that. We mentioned it at the top there in the cold open, James and the Cold Gun. They've got a new record coming out imminently, and we've got not one James, but two of them, and they're next. James and the Cold Gun is a fantastic band out of Wales that caught my ear in the summer of 2023 when Gossard's Loose Groove Records announced the band's debut LP was dropping. I was fortunate enough, to see their raw, energetic brand of rock in person a few months later. Quality confirmed. Now the band is back with their sophomore effort called Face in the Mirror. It drops April 25th. Back to talk about it and more is lead singer and guitarist James Joseph. And this time he's brought his co-conspirator, guitarist James Biss, with him. Welcome, gentlemen.
Here we are.
Hey, how's it going?
Are you pointing?
You guys again? Yeah, the point.
It's great to have you guys on.
Thank you, guys.
Great to be here.
James Joseph pointing to the possibly not hungover James Biss.
I mean, I think I look all right.
Yeah. You were at a wedding yesterday in Southampton, yes?
Yeah. I think it was up till about 2:00.
Oh my.
And then missed breakfast. Then just got in the car, drove for like 4 hours. I got diverted off the main motorway, and there was like a bus that went down these country lanes, and I was like stuck right behind it, going past like cars like that.
Were you screaming? Were you like, get out of my way?
I was just kind of there, I was like, I don't have time for this.
Imagine if he died just to do the podcast for you guys.
Oh, don't put that bad juju out there, James. Christ.
In an alternate universe, it's just the three of you, just tissues, just. We wish you could have been here. You still do it.
Talking about our favorite Biss moments.
Today's episode is now a eulogy, is what I'm saying.
Oh my God. This is started off very darkly. Is that a word?
It can be.
I mean, I guess you're kind of in the motif there, James, with your battle axe and your broadsword.
I'm ready for anything, whatever comes up.
Meanwhile, Biss has flowers and a lovely warm vibe in his room.
Oh, the contrast is outstanding, by the way.
That's it. Yeah, we bring different things to the table.
We work together well in that sense.
Yin and yang. All right, so let's see here. Your self-titled LP, I mentioned it. It's this lovely thing. Signed by you gentlemen. Thank you kindly. When I saw you all at the Troubadour a few months back. So James, we spoke to you back in November of 23, just after the Loose Groove Showcase here in Los Angeles. And at the time, you said that the band was going to go to Seattle next and track a few songs. And now 18 months later, Face in the Mirror is about to come out. And on that previous pod, we spoke about how long it takes for music to come out sometimes, from when you record it to when it comes out. And you felt some kind of way about that. How do you feel this time?
I still feel some kind of way. I was actually having this conversation with the rest of the band the other day, saying how I'd love to. There's a couple of bands I like who, for example, there's that Piss Jeans band.
Oh yeah,
no, not Piss Jeans. It was Fucked Up, and I remember reading about their latest record, and they went in and just did it in like a few days. Mm-hmm. And then it was out like a few days later, and I loved the idea of I love the idea of maybe trying that sometime, because the wait kills me personally. I just listen and pick things apart, and I don't think the waiting part, that's my least favorite part of the whole thing. So
Tom Petty was right.
Yeah, Tom Petty was right.
Paralysis by overanalysis.
There we go.
Tell me something. So Face in the Mirror was recorded both in Seattle and at Stone's studio Litho, right? Well, also back in Wales. So from like a sonics perspective, what did you guys prefer about each recording location?
B, you're up.
I saw it. We had a great and a not so great time in Seattle recording. I think we got very used. We love the place. It was just the kind of the setup and the producer that we had wasn't necessarily what really gelled with kind of how we do things. Mm-hmm. And we like kind of going over and over and over things and like doing it in like a really comfortable kind of place, which is how we did the first record, which is different to going over and having someone else kind of weigh in. But like the studio itself, absolutely amazing. Like all the drums from those songs we did, like they were straight in the pocket. We got all this, all the bass sounds and everything.
We also used the Yield kit. We used Matt Cameron's Yield kit.
Oh, you did not. Hold on. You mean Jack Irons?
Oh, maybe, yeah. In that case, maybe it's Jack Irons' Yield kit. But apparently, those were the shells that were there for us. So that was already pretty cool.
Interesting.
And I believe the snare was a Keplinger snare that was used on Mastodon's Blood Mountain. I might be totally wrong, but I think that's what I recall.
I love that you're just making shit up, possibly.
Possibly.
Dave Lombardo's kick drum.
Yeah.
Just Well, I think that everything sounds super warm on this new record. It sounds more. You mentioned the drums, Biss. The drums
right?
sound. Yeah. What about that room do you think attributed to that?
It would probably be interesting to like find out as well, because like half the record's there, half the record's not.
Right.
Like, I wonder if you can kind of tell which songs were started in Litho and which songs we did drums back home for, because I think like coming together in the mix, like it's all kind of evened out, and it's got all that kind of that sound that kind of brings it together. But like that room, it was like this big open room, and we actually tracked drums while I think we all played, actually. We played live, and we just got in the room and just like standing around the drums and just kept going and going and going until we got a perfect take. But it's more like the energy in there. Like it's kind of hard to describe with those places, but like knowing what had been recorded there and knowing the people who had been there, it kind of felt like electric in there. And I think part of that, like somehow it just kind of like seeps into what you're doing.
Yeah, we've definitely got to give some credit to, even though we didn't work with him for the whole record in the end, we ended up changing a lot of things in the vocals and guitars when we went home. We kept the majority of the bass and the drums from the sessions with Matt Bayliss from Litho. And I think the thing that, even though maybe we didn't agree on everything, and we found it hard to let go of our kind of perfectionist sort of nature, the thing that he really brought to the table was the being so precise with the engineering, and like being really precise about like, should we speed a part up, or should we slow it down? Should we be behind the beat or in front of the beat? Things that like at the time we were like, oh my God, this guy is like killing us. But actually in hindsight, it's those little things that just the energy feels really good.
Okay. Do you notice it all these months back that, you guys are relatively, I don't want to say new, but like you're earlier in the process of recording music than Matt is, who's been doing it for 35, 40 years. Yeah. And so do you go, the things that annoy you about his idiosyncrasies or what he's trying to get through to you, do you start, it's almost like a parent, like what, you don't understand me. And like, I have been a child. I understand what you're going through, but you don't understand. Like there's like a miscommunication of sorts. Then when you get older, you go, oh, I remember what you were talking about. I know what you're talking about. Is there any bit of that, or is it still like, no, we just don't agree?
No, I think there's definitely, I was going to say there's definitely a sweet spot, like where like certain elements of recording that kind of super methodical approach works. And then there's other elements where I think it's more fun to vibe and like experiment and throw the rule book out the window. And I think we try and do a bit of a mix of the two.
Yes, you agree?
Yeah, I was going to say what I don't think helped was we had like, I think it was like 5 days in Litho, and Stone was like, all right, let's do the whole album. So like we had the songs to do it, but like trying to get like everything done in that amount of time, like Matt would have had to like keep the schedule going, like keep the whip cracking kind of thing. Yeah. So we didn't really have as much time to kind of like, say we had like 2 weeks there, like it might have been a bit different. We'd have a bit more time to like go through things and like take more time over thinking about things, but it was just kind of bam, 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 bam.
Now on that note, I mean, we're gonna touch on a few of those songs specifically, but just from like a macro 30,000-foot songwriting perspective, like what were you guys aiming for on Face in the Mirror, and how has the last couple of years on the road really informed that sound?
I think we've like anything we write, like we always just feel like we're getting better, kind of figuring out more what this band, like the sound wise, what it actually is, and even talking to fans and things on the road. Like we've played so many shows now to like so many different audiences because we don't seem to fit in one particular place. There's like so many scenes going on as well in the UK, and we're not anything. And I could talk to someone after the show.
And the episode, we're not anything.
We're not anything. And they'd be like, "What? Like, what are you? Are you a punk band? Are you a rock band? Are you a grunge band?" And
yes,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of figuring out our strengths within that as well. And I think definitely going forward from this, because we've got Gabby in now, who's doing some backing vocals and stuff. I imagine we'll talk about
her. Yeah.
But it's almost kind of finding all the strong points and be like, all right, how can we like make this more of a thing? Like, how can we really show what we're good at while still keeping it like really energetic and fun? Because that's what we love.
I think the biggest thing for me personally as well, album 1 was like so much of like trying to look for approval from other people and like trying to like really like be like, is this good? Is that good? Whereas I think we've really both gotten better at being like, if the two of us like something, then chances are like it's right for this band. And we've definitely like, we've taken risks on this record in the sense that like there are songs that we almost on album 1 wouldn't have made the cut because we're like, oh, that's too much like this band, or that doesn't sound enough like this. Whereas for the first time ever, we're just like, we're like that. Yep, it's us. It feels good. It feels liberating.
So there was no, you talk about, the sophomore album can be a stressful thing. And I think, depending on the audiences, I think a lot of people that watch or listen to this program, they like their bands and they don't care at what level of commercial success that they are. They like the music and that's what it is. That's all that matters. But when you're a band, you look at that second record and you go, what do we do? Do we make it different? Do we make it familiar? Were you guys actively thinking about this? Were you thinking about what Loose Groove might think? Were you thinking about, or just saying, hey, we just trust you guys to make the music that you want to make and that's good enough for us?
I mean, that's what it was really. We just went into the garage and we just played a bunch of songs and we just wrote little riffs, and I go off and write something. James would come back with a riff or some like vocal idea that he had, and we did it our own way. We didn't really have the label saying you've got to do this or we want kind of these songs from it. We completely just did our own thing, and what came out kind of came out. But I feel like this record especially as well, it was kind of written in 2 halves because we had a bunch of songs going to record in Seattle, and we kind of got, I can't remember how many made out of that
like
now.
Five or 6, and then there was like a couple that didn't make it.
Yeah, so then we came back and we were like, well, we got to finish this. So that bit almost, like for a sophomore record, it didn't feel as stressful because we know we had some really good stuff in the bank already. And we had we did Fragile as well in Litho.
Right. Sting the Tail.
Yeah, I forgot we did that one there.
We I think another thing is like, it doesn't feel like our first album like really like set the world alight in terms of like, we don't get me wrong, we still like it and I still love playing some of those songs, but it's not like there's thousands of eyes on our band yet. Like I think this hopefully this will be the first time this album will be a lot of people's introduction to the band. So I don't think, whereas I think with some friends bands whose like first record gets critical acclaim or really, puts them in front of thousands of people, the sophomore slump pressure comes from the fact that the first one's already done so much. Whereas it almost feels like our first, in the same way, like you look at Soundgarden's discography and it's like, it's always surprising that they weren't like a big band until way later on in their career. You think of those first few records, and we kind of feel like that with our first record. It's like that was like our DIY, like a few people know it, but most people don't know it kind of thing.
Let's talk about some of these lyrics on this record. So
therapy time.
Oh yeah, it really.
Let's begin with the first one, right? You go through the motions, your story untold, swallowed by sadness, spat out by the world, broken and beaten, better off dead. You don't want to listen to that voice in your head, so just let go. Don't let it linger. Show them some soul. I know it's in you. You're getting close. It's getting clear. The face in the mirror. Which one of you wrote this?
Are you okay? First question.
Oh, well.
Too big of a question? Too broad?
You know what? Music makes everything feel better. And that is hopefully what this song could do for other people. I mean, I think I got to give a lot of props to James B. He's there through the good times and the bad times and the times where I'm just miserable to be around. But that song to me is like is supposed to be hopeful in the sense that like it's written to myself.
I'll fix it, don't worry.
I'm sorry, no, my cat's jumping on the table. You just knocked over a ladder.
Classic.
Why do you have a ladder in there?
Oh, because we were trying some ideas out for oh no, come on.
Oh my God, get the cat in the shot.
Yeah, the cat
yes!
in the cat.
There he is.
Cat's in.
This is Diesel, and Diesel likes to come into the studio sometimes and walk along the keyboard and delete things.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah. He's got a writing credit on the record for sure.
Love it.
Yeah.
But that song was written it was written to myself it was written to a past version of myself, because I really do feel like writing lyrics and writing songs sometimes is a way to help express emotions that you didn't even you weren't able to comprehend at the time, if you know what I mean. And I think the face in the mirror, the seeing it clearer, is that idea that like in the past few years I've been able to start looking at my own reflection a little bit more and being like, okay, like I'm happy with this. Like I'm proud of certain things, you know. Whereas I think when I was younger, and I think a lot of people feel like this, is you don't really know who you are. You don't know what you want. You don't know what makes you tick. I think it's a product of the kind of world we live in right now as well. There's just so much stimuli that it's hard. It's hard to just be okay, you know?
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I mean, the fact that this track leads off the record. I mean, when you want to make a statement, when you're sequencing the record, the opening song is there to make an intention. So why did you choose to make this the opening intention to the record? And it's the title track.
Why did we do that?
I feel like this, we've gone a bit more like introspective in some senses, like lyrically, and like you could even say like musically. Like to end the first record, we had what's the name of the song?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
According to your liner notes here.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cheating. You got it on the. So 3 years kind of that was like our first kind of really introspective song, and I think even though that wasn't a single, that was this kind of extended long end track. It really felt like that opened some doors kind of lyrically and other things we wanted to explore. So I mean, in a sense, that's kind of our tie on from the last album as well. It's like this is where we left you off. This is where we're going now.
I like that.
It feels good as well, I guess, for us to start with something that there are certain songs on a record that come together really easily. I've said this about songs in the past. Face in the Mirror felt like one that kind of came together a lot more easily than some of the other songs did. And I think whenever that happens and we're truly happy with it, it just feels like we want to put that to the front. There's something special in songs, and countless songwriters have said it over the years, but the songs that come together really quickly and really easily are usually the better ones. That's generally seems to be the take.
Was this one of the earlier tracks that you guys came together with?
It was one of the first ones we wrote when we came home from back. Seattle, and we realized that the Seattle trip hadn't gone totally to plan, because the idea was that the Seattle trip was going to be the whole record in one hit. And I think, to be honest, I remember we got the mixes back around Christmas time that year. And I remember just being in a pit of despair, because I was like, there's like 3 or 4 things I don't want to use. There was like 2, because the idea was we were supposed to just give some mix notes and that would be that. And there was too much not right. And that's the worst feeling.
Just give us back the files.
Pretty much. Please. Pretty much. I mean, that, that's on us as well. There were things that we hadn't figured out yet. It was an ambitious move to try and do a second record in 5 days, Mm-hmm. So it was a bit of pill to swallow, but this was the first real like victory back once we kind of, brushed ourselves off and went back in the garage after all of that.
Speaking of victories, bassist Gabby Elise was a welcome addition on the road, at least here in the US, late last year with Thunder Pussy and a couple of months ago with Highly Suspect. 2 excellent bands, I would say, in their own right. So Gabby also sings backup on the record, including the aforementioned title track that we've been talking about, as well as the single Guessing Games. Can you guys talk a little bit about Gabby as a musician, why you wanted to include her in the vocals as well?
Totally.
Yeah. No, I'll do this one. We were looking for a bassist at the time, and I think James, you probably was the initial one who kind of messaged her, but she was playing bass for like a 3-piece kind of garagey kind of band and just doing some backing vocals and stuff. But like in her own right, so like, I mean, first off there, we saw she was a great player. Like in her own right, she's been doing like writing music and performing like with her own band where she's lead vocals on that, playing guitar as well. So like she's not just a bass player, she's like singer, guitarist, writer, bass player as well,
musician extraordinaire.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like just like a powerhouse in that kind of thing. And she brings stuff to the table in that sense. Like I don't have that voice. I can't do all the high notes. But she's just gelled in really well, and her playing is just fitting so well with the rest of us.
Yeah,
because she's just a real proper kind of musician.
There was a point where, so essentially, we had like 4 or 5 shows at the start of last year, and Gabby was just going to fill in for. It was explicitly just going to be like, I'll play those 5 shows with you. But little did we know at the time, it was a time where she was kind of unsure about her current project, and we had such a blast on those.
It
5
sounds like
days.
you, James, from the previous band.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought you meant this band. I was like,
no.
How'd you know that?
Your previous band, my friend.
Oh yeah. Well, exactly.
1 foot out the door.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. And we had such a blast on those short 5 days together. I remember we finished the little tour in London, and we were saying goodbye at the van, and we were all giving Gab a hug, and we were just like, oh man, that's such a shame that like she's got another band. And then, but she sort of echoed the sentiment back, and we were like, oh, well, maybe, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because we've had a lot of people come and go. Just the nature of the band, we've had like lots of session players because we haven't been able to find people who were ready to commit. So we're used to people coming and going, but we were really excited about Gabby. And then we started having these phone calls in the weeks prior to that, and in the weeks after that. And she said, look, she's thinking about playing some more shows with us. And then we did a whole summer of playing festivals, and we did some headline shows. And I think it was around the time we got offered the tour with Duff last year that she was like, look, I want to be in. And we were like, okay, amazing. Like, let's do it.
That's tremendous. And I was able to see you guys at the Troubadour here in Los Angeles back in, what was it, December, with Thunder Pussy. And not only does she kill it on the bass, but you could tell, we were hanging out afterwards, and you could tell that you guys just get on with each other. And that is so key, especially when you're in a van, hours at a time for days and weeks. Like, you got to have chemistry as people, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Totally. She makes the worst days in the band, if we're in like traffic jam or like a flight's being cancelled or something. She makes those moments so much fun, and we all bounce we all bounce off each other. And I think for me and James B, like, we really enjoy having a third person now to kind of like sound ideas off, or like just someone else to be excited about things that are going on. Any given day, one of us might be more burnt out than the next person, depending on the workload, or if they're struggling with a song or a lyric or whatever. So just having that extra bit of energy and positive energy is really great.
And she has energy.
Yeah, for sure.
She's a firecracker. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the monster drumming of Jack Welch. Right? Jack Wrench, right?
Wrench, yeah, you got him.
The Wrench. In particular, there is a fill that he plays about 2.5 minutes in to Riding the Tiger. That's like an all-timer for me. I want to play it for the people because they have to hear this. So here's a bit of Jack playing Riding the Tiger.
Hit the floor.
Right here. Oh my God. What in the hell is he doing?
Do you know what's funny? I feel sorry for Jack because first things,
not how we expected you to enter into this.
And end of clip.
Firstly, not only James B writes a lot of the drum parts on the computer, you know, with program drums. James B is a pretty mean drummer as well. Maybe nothing compared to Jack, but James B knows how to play the drums. He writes some pretty mean parts on Logic on the MIDI drums, and then the way it works is we get in a room with Jack, and Jack will have kind of sort of played along to what makes sense to him and what doesn't, and then I'll just be there with no knowledge of drums whatsoever, but kind of trying to just say abstract concepts to like of how I want to hear them. So I'm there like for that bit. James is trying to explain like, yeah, so what you do, you hit, you know, this note in this time, blah blah blah, and I'm there like mix it up, but
you're like the air guitar version, like can't you do the part?
But in fairness, Jack sort of learned to speak that language because I remember distinctively we were in this boiling hot practice room one summer's day somewhere in England, and it was just before Jack was going in to record this song, and I was like, mix it up, there we go. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like a
and drums.
Yeah.
But, B, what do you think about that? What do you make of Jack taking your pieces that you've written and then having to hear him go, oh wait, I'm going to add my little flavor?
I mean, I love it because Jack's got such great feel, and like the way he's got like the kind of the perfect combo of feel and just beating the shit out of those drums. Like, and it's rare to find kind of both the one, and like technically as well. Like, I feel like we've really like tested him, like especially with like the fragile groove with the cowbell and everything. It's like any drummer we've had after that been like, what the? So he's doing that with that hand, and so he's open-handed for that bit, and then whatever for that bit. But no, it's kind of the perfect combo because I spent like 3 years learning how to play drums because this was me. I don't know, maybe like 5, 6, maybe more years ago, because I couldn't find anyone to like write with me. So I was like, if I want to do music, I can't like rely on everyone else. And like I love like that first Foo Fighters record and like the first Dinosaur Pilot record where they just did it all themselves. And I was like, well, drums is the only thing I can't do, so I've got to learn drums. So I spent like 3 years like religiously learning drums, but like now I know how to do it. I don't practice. I don't really like play as much now, but like I know like what I want to hear, and I know what's possible.
Well, now you can translate it too. You can go from the James of being like, can you go digga 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 booga booga do, to being like, okay, and hi hat and snare and tom, and like you can actually say the things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but like I know like for a demo, like there would have been like a kind of clap like MIDI version of that fill. And then once Jack gets to the room with us, then he can be like, what if I did this thing where I'm like going, rather than like hitting doubles on everything, I'm like doing tom kick. It's like kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Like we'll do that.
So did he ever bring grooves to you beforehand that then you guys wrote riffs to?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, not really. Jack's a busy boy, so but we're just lucky he can play everything that we give him.
Well, I mean, so you're saying, Biss, that you're writing all these grooves. I mean, the groove on Twist the Knife, you know, Jack's playing of that groove. I'm getting so much Matt Cameron from that track. Like it's dripping with Soundgarden juices, boys. I mean, it's proper. I want to play another clip of that one.
I got a good story for you.
Okay, well, let's listen to it and get the
Does it begin with "I'm sorry for Jack" or something?
No. Here we go. Already. Like I'm getting
it's got that
like
Soundgarden Outshine vibe to it. That's great.
I was even thinking like Crooked Steps off of King Animal. Like it just kind of like lurches back and forth, but then it's like it finds its. Talk to me, Biss.
Okay, so that song again came when we were back home. So that one wasn't done in Litho, and we were just writing. We just needed more songs for the record. And I think I was just I was at home at this point, just like in my flat, just like sat there with like my like black SG just unplugged, just playing through stuff, like trying to write a riff. And like at this point, like I think we were both pretty burnt out. And I was like, I've just got nothing. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like hitting random notes on the guitar and it's just not doing I'm not getting anything like kind of magical that I like. And then like Shannon, my girlfriend, works from home and she's just like there, just hearing me plink plonk for ages. And she's like, what are you doing? She was like, just listen to something that you really like.
She's like, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, she's like, I've got to help him. I've got to help him get past this. So she's like, listen to something that you really like. So I literally just listened to Super Unknown.
Good call, Jason.
And then just started jamming and I got this riff and I was like, it's got that feel to it. It's like groovy. It's kind of a bit janky as well with that kind of time in. And then already at that point, then I kind of had this idea of a weird beat in my head. And I do like a little voice recording of that like riff unplugged and then me just like tapping on my legs. And then I remember specifically sending a video of it, of me playing that groove to Jack like the next day. But I had these like shorts on that had like kind of like ridden up a bit. And it was like a side angle. So it just looked like me in hot pants playing this like this like terrible audio quality. I was like, Jack, you got to play this on the, we need to make this idea happen. Like I love it. But all he could comment about was just the shorts.
Your legs are fantastic.
Coming out.
Yeah.
Now, Jack unfortunately couldn't make it the East Coast tour with Highly Suspect in January, but you had an interesting fill-in. So tell the good people who sat in on Jack's throne and how that connection was made.
We had a very interesting fill-in, yeah. So we had a lovely chap called Miles Ulrich.
That sounds familiar.
You take a guess at So he's the son of Lars Ulrich from Metallica, and basically about a year before that, I remember Miles just followed the band on Instagram, and we weren't really aware of Miles or his brother Lane or their band, but remember, because he had the blue tick and stuff, we got a follow from him from the band page, and I was like, oh, Ulrich. Checked it out and I was like, oh, no way, that's like Lars Ulrich's kid, that's cool. We exchanged some pleasantries, like I checked his band out, he checked us out. We both said that we were fans of each other's other stuff, and we've kind of been Instagram friends ever since. Then when we got the Highly Suspect offer, we were still on tour with it was right before Christmas. I think it was like the day of the Seattle show. So it was like the 22nd of December. And we got this offer. I remember we were about to go to bed and I was like, oh, wow, we've been offered if we want to come back in like a week. It was like a week after Christmas. And me, Gabby and Biss were like, sweet, let's book the flight. Let's do it. Jack kind of looked at us and he was like, oh, probably going to have to sit this one out, guys. And we were like, gosh. Okay, we'll do it anyway. So I just kind of confirmed it, because these moments where you get offered these big support slots,
you got to say yes.
You got to say yes. You got to make it work, and that's my advice to any kind of young band. But so straight away we were like, okay, who can we get to play drums? And we have a bunch of good drummers in the UK that we could call on, but the problem is none of them have US visas, and that's a whole thing that takes weeks and weeks of bureaucracy and logistics and stuff.
And that was in the before times, James.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, yeah, in the before times. And I was like, well, I know this one guy from America, like my only American friend, really, apart from you guys.
Okay, thank God. Good Lord.
One of my very few, one of the 20 American people I know.
If you had asked one of us to drum, you wouldn't be a band anymore. So
there we go. So I hit him up and be like, hey, dude, bit of a weird one. Do you know any good drummers who would play for our band? And he said, yeah, I know one.
This guy.
I was like, oh, cool. Like, well, okay. And he nailed it, man. And he was a great hang. And we've got so many funny stories from him. I should probably tell you the story about. I should tell you the Megadeth story just because it'll make you laugh.
Go on.
Obviously, like, I think the thing that Miles enjoyed most about, without speaking for him, the thing that Miles enjoyed most about playing for us is nobody knew who he was or who he was related to. There was none of the kind of, because it must be hard, like for anyone whose parent is in the same world that they're in. And I think the thing he was enjoying the most is the fact that people would come up and compliment the band after these shows and compliment his drumming. And they weren't trying to get anything. They weren't trying to be weird to him because of who his dad is. So he was really loving that. But I was, some of the shows I would take the piss out of him, and I would tell the sound engineers, like, oh, that guy's one of Megadeth's kids. So, and, oh man, he got so fed up with that. Like, he
didn't think it was funny?
He found it funny until like the 10th time, where I'm still laughing. And but no, he was fucking great. He's a great guy and a really, really good player.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's fantastic, James. So James Biss, I have to be clear. You have a habit of finding yourself in the crowd during these performances from time to time. So who I should say, were some of your guitar heroes growing up, and where'd you get that showmanship inspiration?
That's a good question, to be fair, because I was always mega shy growing up. I could get on stage and like play guitar and like sing in front of people, but like outside of that, I was just always mega shy. And like music-wise, growing up, it was like really just kind of like what my dad listened to. So like, I love Foo Fighters. I love Lenny Kravitz.
The fact that these are your dad's music.
Yeah.
How old are we now? My dad was the Foo Fighters and Lenny Kravitz. Like that's like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he was listening to music at the time. Like it wasn't like
I know.
But you'd also listen to like The Police and like Toto and like Bob Marley and like, so it was like a whole kind of mix of stuff, but like that kind of like energetic rock kind of thing. Like I loved like, although he doesn't get into the crowd, like Joe Perry, Aerosmith, like just his like playing and like the energy of that and like the speed of it could have embodied that in me. And then I don't really know what got me to go into the crowd. It feels like the right thing to do. Like you spend so much time like away from everyone. You're like, oh wait, I want to, like, I like this bit, but like I also want to be there. Like you guys are having a great time.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's cool.
Friend of the show, I can call him this now. Friend of the show, Mike McCready, has gone out with his guitar playing the Alive solo up and down the floor there many times. So maybe that's now your world. That's the level you're at now, where you're comfortable enough to be a man of the people and do the shredding. I like that.
I mean, yeah, until it gets pretty like pitty in there. I've had one point. There was a guy who was just like strumming my guitar.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
like, yeah. And like I'm fine with that, but like there's also someone who's like squished on it, so it's not even making any sound. My guitar's like up here. We've got the.
What does this button do? No.
Yeah, we've got the funniest photo. We did a headliner in London in this like little venue called the Social. And it's got like a really small ceiling, and maybe like halfway, like it's halfway through the point of like the ceiling and the floor, there's like this little bar bit. So I decided to get on that, and I was going to like jump into the crowd, but I didn't realize like how small it was. So I was like standing on this thing, kind of like that playing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you jumped up and hit your head.
Hit your head, yeah.
Oh, no, I did jump in, but like everyone like pushed me to the ceiling. And like I'm getting there, just like
sandwiched,
just like completely squished against the thing. And someone's got like a really like HD photo, just all the veins in my neck are bulging.
Where is this photo? I gotta see this.
This looks like a ball sack in it. Because he's there like whilst holding the funny thing is our photographer got like the coolest, guy shredding a solo over his adoring fans, and then someone else got, it's like Instagram versus real life. The real life one is like Biss just there like trying not to get crushed.
That's a great metaphor or analogy, whatever the word is. Yeah, that's great. Oh my god. Biss, let's stick with you. I've got another clip I want to play for the people, and it is this.
I got a suitcase full of nothing. Wanna slow down, stop running. Tired of finding ways to bring this round. I got a new curse that drains the color. I can't feel the beat, I'm so hung up. Lead me while I sink into the ground.
Oh, baby. That's you on lead vocals,
me.
Mr. Biss. You went full Mankind Stone Gossard right there. I tell you what, your voice sounds just super familiar. It sounds super confident. Kind of not unlike when Jerry Cantrell takes over for Lane on some of those Alice songs. How long have you had that song in your back pocket, and how did you guys come to agree for James B to be the singer on a few of these tracks? I think there's more too, right?
Yes. Yeah. We didn't have that song was written after we got back from Seattle. That was like Twist the Knife, Above the Lake. That all came in that kind of period where we're like, we need more. Let's just get writing. And I think that one came together fairly quickly, like musically, like the whole song came together. And then like lyrically, it took a bit longer because I don't know, I kind of hadn't figured out like really what I wanted to say with it. So like me and James are going back and forth, and because he's really, really good with the lyrics and just trying to get me to actually say something rather than just nonsense words. He wouldn't let me get away with anything.
So James, you were pushing him to be a singer on this track, yeah?
Oh yeah. Well, the funny thing is that a lot of people, even the people who work with a band, the thing that they don't realize is like almost every song you hear is the two of us coming together. We write parts separately. Like, I'll write a line of lyrics separately, or James B will write a riff or a guitar part separately. But generally speaking, it's not like the Beatles where people bring fully fleshed songs and then that's, they're totally different. Whatever we release passes through both of our filter, so to speak, at least for now, there's probably moments where maybe like someone did more of one song and someone did more of the other song, whatever. But generally speaking, we work together on everything. So like some of the lyrics that I like, that I'm the most proud of, were probably still done by the two of us going back and forth in the room together. But yeah, so like my biggest thing with letting, and I shouldn't even say letting, my biggest thing when James B's singing is I think he's a sick singer and I think the song's awesome. Agreed. But I'm such a stickler for lyrics. If I'm, if roles are reversed and I'm there hitting the record button and listening to his take, I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And this song was rough because the melody he'd written from the very first pass was awesome. But sometimes when you do that, you've almost like made a puzzle that you've got to then try and fill with words that make sense.
Phonetically, yeah.
Yeah, and I personally I'm not a huge fan of like nonsense lyrics, even though some of my favorite songs, some Nirvana songs or Beatles songs or Queens of the Stone Age songs.
Blah, da, James.
yeah.
Come on, baby.
I'm definitely more of a it has to all mean something.
Yeah.
Which could be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes, but I think
is it a pain in the ass?
Not all the time.
Oh, okay. Better answer than I thought I was gonna get.
So that was tough. We both put a lot of hours into that song to try and get the lyrics to, because there was like hints at what it could be about, and then it was just trying to
it was always like redrafting verses and things, because there might be like a line that worked well there, but it was like what he's saying before that is just nothing. Let's move that there. That makes more sense for this song. But like the melody and the guitars kind of came together like pretty quickly. But I was going to say as well, like it's like because we both sing as well, it's kind of just whatever suits the song better.
Yeah.
So for example, like doing Twist the Knife, like James's voice fits really well with that. Like, and just doing this one, that kind of almost like garagey, kind of like bouncy feel. Like it just, like my voice kind of seemed to go really well over that. So that's like that fits the song better. And then
it's a song by song thing. But I mean, the reason why I bring it up is because James Joseph, you sing on 98% of this stuff, and so to hear Biss's voice, I was like, this is different. You know, how do you come, if you're both, because you guys are both filtering, as you said, when do you go, you know what, this is the one?
We tried a bunch before, because we both started this off singing. Like the first song we ever released was James singing, did a bunch of BBs. The second song we released, I think I did a bunch of singing, and it was kind of the other way around. And we kind of started it as if we were both doing it, and then ended up kind of settling into these roles. But we were like, we're not the kind of, I don't think our voices are kind of different enough to do like a Mark and a Tom from Blink kind of thing. But each kind of like bounce back and forth, and it's different. So we wanted to do something like how like the Clash do it, or like Fugazi do it, where you've got your song, we come together at points, and it's like that was the kind of remit for us. And it's just ended up working.
It's very organic
this way.
Yeah,
like we're not going to force anything.
Again, the key is just like, as long as both of us are into it at the end, like there's been some awkward, there has been awkward moments where it's like, yeah, I don't, like nobody likes to do that in the moment, but like where one of us just might not like the other person's thing that they've done that day. And, but I think like we've got such a good relationship where we know that like we're both just trying to do what's best for the band and what's best for the song. And I think, yeah, it's good to have that like 2-stage filter in between through both of us.
And I think that's key too. Like when you have a track and you say, hey, how do we help this song realize its ambitions? And you remove yourselves from the equation and you become facilitators of what the song needs to be versus advocates of what you need to be for the song. You know what I mean?
Totally. I think Stone, in fairness, Stone Gossard was big in terms of like encouraging more of like the sharing of roles and like just total collaboration. I think it's something he enjoys doing in his own life. He's always doing things with various musicians, and there is a sort of magic to that where everyone feels so involved, and it's a good feeling. It's a good energy, and we to be honest, us asking Gabby to officially join is more of that. I think it's almost a shame that we hadn't found her earlier in the process, because there might even be, at some point there might even be a song where Gabby's singing lead,
Album 3.
Yeah,
she might be able to carry a note or two.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else? I want to play one more clip, but anything else that Stone kind of offered you from an advice standpoint, both in Litho and then also when you guys were writing after the fact?
It's funny talking to Stone sometimes, because sometimes he'll provide like when we had the first Zoom with him, we were on tour. This was like just as we were dropping that like the EP. And he was going through and he was like listing like chord changes in the second verse of the third song and lyrics in like the fourth song. We were like, oh my God, he's listened like to absolutely everything. He's like analyzed it like before he sent us a message. And so like we know that he does that to these songs. Like they go through that process with him as well. But some of the times if we're in like a little bit of a slump, then Stone's there. He's like the hype man. He's there. He's like, you guys just groove it, speed it up, slow it down, flip the beat on its head, just have fun, just explore. And he just wants us to just go and do what we do organically and make mistakes and explore different areas, even if it doesn't make the record. But he's like very much just you guys do your thing, because I love how you write songs, however it comes out.
Did he teach you how to chicken head? Had a chicken head on stage the way he's got his thing?
No, I haven't got that down yet. Yeah, it's funny. He's such a true artist in that sense. Ultimately, like we'd be lying if we said we didn't want to do this as our career. But anytime we like have these like business brain ideas come into our heads, or like, should we cut this bit of this song to make it more catchy or shorter? All the kind of that stuff. He's the first person to be like, no, like you don't listen to that part of your brain. It's really nice to have someone who's, because he's technically our business guy. Mm-hmm. He runs our label, but being totally artist friendly is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, to have a sounding board of the principal architect of one of the greatest American rock bands of all time is probably helpful. You can rely on his instinct.
One thing that's also funny is like he's so humble as well. Like I think I'd be like an asshole if I was as successful as him. Like in terms of being like my opinion's the opinion that because I've got like platinum records. But like I remember there was a song where he wanted us to like cut a section. Like he was just like, look, maybe try cutting this one section. I think you could shorten this one bit because this other bit's great. And I was like, no way, Stone, no way we listen to you. That's like, but he was like, okay, no, fair enough if you like it. Like, but I really respected how he like still put our decision above his.
Right.
Yeah. So he's really, really humble.
He didn't go all Bruce Dickinson on you.
No, exactly.
Exactly. When I put my pants on, I make gold records.
Exactly. He could definitely do that if he wanted to, but no, not at all.
This record ends with this massive, like, head whipping monster called Meet My Maker. And I want to play a little piece for everybody because it's legendary. Oh my God.
Harmonious harmonizing.
Woo! I mean, guys, this is dark. This is beautiful at the same time. Lyrics. Is this a combination effort or who's writing these lyrics?
Combination again. Like the thing is, we're going through like we're experiencing things at a very similar time as well. You know, like the days where we're both burnt out, the days where we're both lost, the days where you know. So yeah, definitely like a combination. I think I had an idea of that kind of verse thing, which wasn't sure where to take it. And then I remember James B was like, "Oh, it needs this big like crashing like halftime thing." And for a while I couldn't really hear it. And then when we finally got it, it feels so good.
Some of these lines here at the end are, "Behold the storm that tears my world apart, the wave that pulls me under. If I could find some comfort in the dark, then I'll refuse to meet my maker." That's like a fuck you to feeling shitty, right? That's like I'm going to get out of this. And I love that. Mental health, that is a thing that people now are okay to talk about. It's not unmasculine to talk about. It's not taboo to talk about it anymore. Pulling the positive out of the heavy. And you talk about on the last time we spoke, episode 185, I want to say, go check it out, kids, that running helps you kind of find your way through that a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Biss, what's your mechanism for getting through that and getting this out onto the paper?
Listening to Soundgarden. That's
yeah.
staying away from me for a bit.
Yeah. Putting my phone on silent and just hiding it in the corner. No, I try and just like, if we've got like a full day, like even like writing this record, like if we've had a full day, then I just try and like leave that at the door and just relax, chill with my old cat and my girlfriend, watch some like shitty TV and like gorge myself on food. And by the time I'm like halfway through that and I'm feeling them go to sleep on my leg with the claws digging in, I'm like, I've washed the day clean.
We should probably use this as a chance to tell the guys a bit more about the lake from above the lake as well.
Oh, please. Let's circle back to that.
It's a little segue. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so the garage where we rehearse, we record, we write, we come up with everything, is just across the way from like a country park with this like big lake in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so many like throughout this band and like throughout other bands I've done in the past as well, it's always been a place where you spend all day kind of butting your head against a wall. you're sat in front of a Logic project, you're trying to get something down, and you're just not getting anything, and you beat yourself up about it. And so many times I like just bounce what we had for the day, just as like an MP3, put it on my phone, go out to the lake and just walk around, just get some fresh air, like look up at the stars and just kind of switch off from that. And then you listen to the song again and you're like, well, that's obviously what it needs doing. It doesn't need that bit in it. The bridge needs this bit. It's like you know, when you come up with ideas in the shower, it's like when you've like switched off and like you're not so on top of it anymore. And like me and James have done it so many times, like even in the middle of a day, if it's a sunny day and we're like, oh, we're spending all day inside this cave now. It's like, it's sunny, let's grab a coffee. We'll walk around the lake with like a mug in our hand because it's only across the road. We're just walking around.
We take the full-on mugs from the house, just walking around this. Everyone else has got their like keep cups and stuff, but we've got our full-on. Try not to spill them.
Oh, where's yours?
Yeah.
Mugshot.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Mugshot. Okay, there we go.
We've actually, Biss, you need to show them the matching mugs we have. We have two of these. Little James mugs. Very nice.
It's literally seeing the forest for the trees. Like you're taking that concept, but you're bringing it to the actual nature and saying, let the world kind of wash over me and wash away the stress or the focus required to make this music, and let an outside perspective shine a light on it, and that will reveal, changes you want to make or different perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Yeah. And it's just a beautiful place. Like, it's very much like, it brings you back to the now, it really just feels healthy to do that.
Well, it's I say this truly, it's a really great record.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
And we are super happy for the successes that you've achieved, the ones that are coming your way. Everyone needs to check out James and the Cold Gun. They are the real deal. And we're just so happy that you guys sat down with us. And I know that despite the possible hangover, Biss, you made it. And we're so stoked that you could join us.
No, I did it. I got the coffee. Managed to get this set up. I moved it all from inside the garage where everything's. I was like, "There's no light in there. I've got to move it all out here." So
that is the mic that we track most of the record on.
Well, that's a good mic.
Yeah,
there we go. This has been really nice for us as well, guys. Like this is the first thing that we've done. The first bit of what do you call this? PR publicity. The first bit of press that we have done on this record cycle. So it's really cool that you guys have taken the time to listen to the music and you've got thoughts and feelings about it. Even hearing you guys say lyrics, it's sometimes so surreal to think that like people are going to interpret this stuff, later on, because I think we're in this age where we kind of assume that nobody's going to bother to like check anything out unless it's like really instant. Mm-hmm. So like the fact that you guys have taken the time to, spend 40 minutes listening to the record and digesting it, it means a lot. It's really cool. Thank you.
It's easy when it's good and enjoyable, and like
we are connoisseurs of quality.
Yeah. Ooh.
There we go.
Before we let you go, I know you were just here twice. Are you coming back again to the US?
We're working on it. Yeah, we're in the running for a bunch of like amazing support tours. I think you just got to hope the stars align. There's a lot of killer bands also, pushing for the same opportunity. So we shall see. We shall see.
And the visas are still good. So
visas are still good until next December, I believe. So
yes. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, guys, check them out. This was the old one. It's also great. And the new one, I don't have it physically yet, although it's in the mail, I hope, or about to be in the mail.
Sure it will be.
Very stoked on that. Face in the Mirror, April 25th. You could stream it if you'd like, but let's push some vinyl. Buy the physical thing, and then, you go see them on the tour, and then they sign it for you.
There we go.
That's not easy there.
What?
We'll do whatever.
This is like, they're squeezing me in the crowd. Now they want my signature.
No, they can have it.
We need blood from Biss.
we're still at the level of band where if someone buys a vinyl, they can have pretty much whatever they want from us.
And this is the which one did I get? I got the because a friend of the show, Jacob Givens, he got one, and I got the other. So I got the blue and black guy.
Oh, nice!
That is
nice.
beautiful.
Classic.
Look at that.
Classic.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So that'll be.
You don't normally see
there.
the two-tone like that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Anyways, go get the new one. Face in the Mirror, April 25th. Like I said, James, thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Nice to chat to you.
Pleasure having you guys on.
Again, big thank you to James Biss, James Joseph from James and the Cold Gun. That's so many Jameses, and I couldn't be happier to have them on. They are quality gentlemen, the real deal.
Yeah, we raise our mugs to you.
That was so much fun.
That was good.
If you were listening only, you did not see us with the mug shot. But suffice to say, good times. And, if you are in the mood to consume their music, I mentioned it before. They got the old record. It's fantastic. The new record comes out in a couple of weeks. It is also fantastic. Buy the record. Buy the vinyl. Enjoy it. Spin it on your home entertainment system, as I have behind me, and you will not be disappointed.
No,
I will say, if you want to support this channel and having more of these kinds of guests on to talk about music we all love, Patreon is one place to do it. We have a great community over there, and we have a monthly giveaway. This month, it's the Mad Season Above record on vinyl, reissued, newly remastered. It's awesome. And if you want to throw a few bucks at our monthly fundraiser, which is Autism Speaks, that's a great thing. It'll make you feel good on the inside, in the cockles of your heart. You know?
Yeah.
Deep inside. $5 or more to them is stickers, pins. They get sent to you through some sort of courier device, and the person who donates the most money. I don't know why that was the line to make Paul chuckle, but you get this guy. You get the. This is the carrot this month. Give to Autism Speaks. It's a tasty carrot. It's good for your eyes and good for your soul, and Alive and Porch could be yours on vinyl. So be in the giving mood. It's April, and April showers bring. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, Paul. The coffee hasn't kicked in, I guess.
April showers bring spring flowers. Let's spring into action by rating, reviewing, and subscribing on your preferred podcast platform of choice. Feed that algorithm.
I'll tell you what. So that was great. Segues are your thing, but also because so many mentions of flowers today. We're in the spring. James Biss had the daffodils on his desk there. That. Fantastic. So thank you for that. And if you're watching, rating, reviewing, subscribing here, hit the subscribe button and then the like button and the bell for notifications. I was doing your bit. So do that. We thank you in advance. And until next week, you've been listening to or watching
The State of Love and Trust.